while I have you here, why don't you tell us all a little bit about your career and your thoughts about the current state of the NBA?
Well, although I played back in the day, I enjoy. I still enjoy basketball. I enjoy the NBA, and I'm like most fair weather fans. I really enjoy the playoffs, and I'm getting an opportunity to see some of the tremendous stars of the future. When I look at a team like the Atlanta Hawks, surely Trey Young is a star, but then they have a couple of other guys that are going to be great players. I'm getting a chance. I got a chance in the first three games, Brooklyn versus Milwaukee, to see what a tremendous player Kevin Durant is. Milwaukee, whom I watch occasionally for some reason. I'll watch.
I wonder why that is.
I'll watch the Bucks, but I'm enjoying Middleton, Drew Holiday. To me, is like a guy that can score and do just about everything on the floor that he wants to do. And so I'm really enjoying the NBA and the talent and the new talent that comes in yearly, to be able to look at the kid Mitchell out in Utah. And, I think the league is just filled with an abundance of outstanding players, and I can only see the league getting stronger and more entertaining over the next couple of years. So I think when guys like maybe LeBron and his crew leaves, that they have a stockpile of players who are just waiting to step in their places.
So you see a bright future for the NBA in general.
Oh yeah.
Do you think it's a better era now than it was when you played?
Come on. I can't give them that much credit.
That's right.
But from a personal standpoint, the only reason I would probably want to play now is because of the money. But as far as enjoying the game and the camaraderie with other players, what can you say when you played against a guy like Wilt Chamberlain, all the guys that have sort of set the groundwork for the players that have come along, Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, Kareem, Rick Barry, Dave Cowens, Kevin McHale, Rudy Tomjanovich. These are guys that have set the groundwork and makes it possible for the young players to have the exposure that they have today, because I think the major difference is just the exposure, because we had 13 teams in the league when I played. Now you got 30, and you got 5 or 6 different. The normal stations don't even cover the games anymore. They got the cable channels, and you can watch a NBA game all night. You can watch the replays all night. So, where the game is right now seems like it's in a solid state. And, when we allude to the leadership in the league, that they were the premier sport that performed and set the standards for other sports for playing during the pandemic. And even now, that their protocol is second to none. So I just see how the league has flourished under all types of adversity. And I think that's the true measure of leadership that goes from the commissioner through security, the team ownerships, the general managers. And I think it's a willingness of the players that they want to perform at their craft, and they want to be able to play at their passion. So I just have nothing but just, high regards for the way the league has conducted itself throughout this pandemic.
So the NBA definitely seems to be really attuned to evolving and adapting to what's thrown at it. Was that always the case?
Yes, I think the league has always had good leadership from the top. I think the owners, when I played, most of the teams are owned by individual families, and I think they have now involved in the partnership. And I would say that cities have developed downtowns and entertainment areas with an NBA arena or team at the focus of that. And I think that's when you look sort of past basketball, and I think the NBA has evolved to the point that we can make some changes in the culture of certain cities. We can make changes in society, and the league is out front and proactive in activism, causes, equality for all, and everything from the virus to voting rights to equality through for immigration. And the league is just not a sports conscious league, but it's a league for all.
It's almost like a cultural institution now, the NBA.
Yes, well, it's so much diversity in the league, and it seems like the diversity, it's a conscientious effort that all cultures and races get to participate in this growth of the league, including females. I mean, we got females that are lined up to be NBA coaches, and I expect a female to be a head coach within at least a 5-year period once they employ more assistant coaches. And I think that that no nonsense approach that females bring is just the type of discipline I think that can better prepare the young players who are coming in the league, better prepare them for the responsibilities of being a pro athlete. So I just see that diversity thing that goes throughout the league itself, even with the fact of going into the European countries, which the league has been in for the last 30 years, and even going into the African countries, going to the Asian countries. So this is truly an international sport with international ownership. And it's just such a diverse league. And I think it's really showing what this country can really do, and how with diversity, you can have a successful enterprise, and the league is surely showing that.
So the league definitely shows kind of what the best is, and the promise of a United States. I mean, everyone coming together.
Oh, for sure. And like I've already said, through leadership at the top, through ownership, and the league is viewed in probably just about every corner of this earth. If there are some people in outer space, they probably got got a venue. They
They
probably
know the
know
NBA.
about.
They got a hoop.
Yeah. They
They're shooting
know.
around on Mars or someplace.
And
It's cosmic.
basket.
Space Jam, right? Come on.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember being at a professional golf tournament, the Val Spar golf tournament down in Florida, maybe about 5 years ago, and it was just amazing how even in that setting, I had the opportunity to go to realistically. There is a caddy shack on the PGA tour where the caddies get up and go to a trailer, and breakfasts are cooked fresh and everything. And the caddies get to the breakfast spot maybe about 6:30 in the morning, eat first, and then they go and pick up the golfers, and then they head out, to the practice course. And I had a chance to talk to them once they found out that I was an NBA player, and come to find out among the caddies, that's what they do most on the tour is play basketball when they're not on the
I think
court.
everyone does that. It's like all the other athletes, they got to be shooting around.
Oh yeah. Because
I remember Donovan Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, all the football players play basketball. All the football players
they
play
love it.
basketball.
They
love it. Yeah.
I mean, when I was in college, we couldn't halfway play pickup basketball games unless the football team they want to come in and play. And so everybody wants to play basketball.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Now, Bob's about to join us, but I got one more question before he hops on. So you kind of really espouse the positive aspects of the league. Is there any sort of aspects of the league that really needs some attention, that needs to improve, that needs some growth?
I'm sort of adverse to guys coming in at such a young age, because I don't know if it's this year or in the near future, a kid may be able to come in at 18 and go and play in the D League. So this is going to encourage a lot of college kids that would normally go to college to come out of school and go to the D League. And the thing is that if you want to look at where are all the first round draft choices that never made it in the league, well, they're in the D League. And to me, it needs to, or it should be something in place, because these guys chase that basketball dream, and then what happens when that dream doesn't come to fruition? And that's why I would like to see the guys be able to stay in school for at least 2 years. But who am I? I'm just a retired player. But I think for the total interest of the player, that if they can get introduced to a couple of years of schooling, they may somewhere along the line, find that there are other things that they can do other than athletics. And so they have a backup plan so that they can still live a productive life.
So Bob's about to join us. What do you think about players getting paid in college, or getting licensing deals and things of that nature?
Well, I think they should. I mean, everybody else benefits from their performances. I mean, coaches get tremendous contracts. And even if a coach gets a good contract at one university and a better contract comes up, then he's gone. The universities fill up stadiums, and the monies that are generated through the NCAA. So I think players should be compensated, and I'm saying fully. and to be able to compensate each player, not just your starting five. And I think if we could find a vaccine for the virus, surely we can find a way to divvy up the proceeds so that each player on a college team can, benefit financially.
Bob Dandridge?
Yes, it is.
This is Bob Spino. Remember me?
Oh, I remember your face.
Yeah, I was a little kid. You were the first person I ever met because my brother had just gotten the job, and I got there at Christmas time. We used to go on Christmas vacation, and you were standing there, and I go, "You're Bob Dandridge," and you go, "Yeah." I go, "I'm Tony's brother." He goes, "You look like him." I'm like, "Thanks a lot."
Well, you do look like your brother.
Yeah. Well, we were both young then. Now we're older, but how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and you?
I'm hanging in. We have this show. I'm sorry I'm late. It was a mix-up. We ended up going to Pennsylvania to eat, and I left my cell phone in the restaurant, and I got to go back tomorrow to get it. So I couldn't get hold of you.
Yeah.
And I'm really sorry about that.
That's okay. We're focused, and we're on. Your friend held it up very well. You got a great.
Thanks, Bob.
I kept the ship afloat, Bob. We did
He
this.
sure did. He kept us afloat.
Did you tell us about the Bucks when you were there, and did you talk about that?
We talked about a whole lot of stuff, and we eventually talked about somewhat about the Bucks, but
right.
The Bucks were like a good organization. And even after Kareem and the Big O left, which was supposed to be a rebuilding process, and they through the trade of Kareem to the Lakers that year, the Bucks got 4 first-round draft choices, which set the standard to continue the success of the Bucks. And then they eventually picked up one of your home guys, Marcus Johnson.
Right, from UCLA.
And that.
Dave Myers, too.
Beg your pardon? Dave Myers. Yeah, we used to call him Crash Myers.
Right.
Because he was forever diving for loose ball.
Right.
We used to call him Crash Myers, but over that probably 3-year period after Kareem left, which was a rebuilding year, but the Bucks were able to get some top draft choices. They acquired Brian Winters and Junior Bridge and Dave Myers, and I think Elmore Smith were part of the deal that brought 4 number 1 draft picks plus Elmore Smith to the Bucks, and the Bucks from that trade, unlike other teams, drafted some top guys, which continued the winning process. They eventually added Bob Lanier, Sidney Moncrief,
right,
and they kept the winning tradition going. So Milwaukee has always been a well-managed organization, and the key to probably playing well in Milwaukee is Milwaukee has tremendous fans. They're gonna come out, win or lose, but I think the Bucks have been a franchise that have had very few really losing seasons.
No, you've always had really good ones. And what was it like to win it all with Kareem and the 71 team, right?
Yeah. Well, I was a young kid who was used to winning in college, so I thought everybody who played in the league long enough would be on a championship team.
Right.
And to win in Milwaukee at such an early age surely set the standard for my career, because winning was not an option. That was the only thing that I wanted to do. So, when you got a base of Kareem and the Big O, then it's everybody else's job to fill in and to find your niche. And I was able to find my niche, so to make myself an important part of that organization.
Well, let me tell you something. Even before I met you when I was a kid, I used to watch you on TV. I knew how good you were. You were a great player.
Okay.
I mean, you were.
Now, how intense was that rivalry with Chicago back then?
Oh my gracious, that was an intense rivalry because we were only like 85 or 90 miles apart, and people that lived in Chicago, when they got tired of Chicago, they would move to Milwaukee or to move to Wisconsin. And when people in Wisconsin wanted to speed up their lifestyles, they went to Chicago.
Right.
So it was just a tremendous rivalry. With Bob Lanier, Chet Walker, Bullwinkle, Sloan, and Van Leer, and they exemplified the Chicago lifestyle or mentality or culture. They were a hard-nosed team that Van Leer and Sloan had bruised knees from taking charges. And so that was just a very competitive rivalry.